Me this morning. You know, before we get ready to open up in service, I want everybody just to take a few moments. You know, today is Memorial Day. And today is a day not about picnics. You know, I want to say this, it's not a day about going in places like that, but it's a day about remembering those who have served in our military and lost their lives. As I was looking back over the last couple of days, I've been looking at different things, and I was reminded, Brother Scotty, that there's many men who never came home from war. There are many families that are still suffering from the loss. And I just want us to take a moment, and I'm going to ask everybody as they come into the church, we're going to just take a moment of silence. And we're just going to take a few moments and we're just going to open up a prayer. But I would say that for the next, I would ask that everybody, as we come in, we're going to take a, Leon, would you do me a favor this morning? Would you tell everybody we're going to take a moment of silence and just for our men who lost in war. You know, I want to say something to you. My wife's grandfather served in World War II. His name was Nathaniel P. Cavender. He served in the South Pacific, and I never met him. He passed away before, but one day I was sitting with Kathy's grandma, Agnes. And Agnes was telling me a story. She said, Pete never talked about the war. And I said, why? And she said, because of what he faced. And she said one day, she told me one story. She said one day he came into the house and he was drunk. You see, when Kathy's grandpa came home from war, he became an alcoholic, Brother Scotty. And she said that one day when he walked in the house, he was crying. She said he was literally in fits. He couldn't move. And she said, Pete, what's wrong? And he said, I can't take it, Agnes. I can't take it. And she said, what's wrong? She said, do you need to go to the hospital? What's wrong? And she said that Pete looked at her and she said it was the only story he ever told her. But she said he was crying in tears and he had a bottle of whiskey. And he says, we were serving on the island of the Philippines, Agnes. He said, we went swimming. And he said, as we were swimming, he said, we took all of our clothes off, we skinny dipped them. I just want you to get the picture. They didn't have their weapons. And he said, all of a sudden, he says, we were swimming in the water. We looked up the side of the hill where they were at. They could see the Japanese were coming down the side of the hill, and they snuck out of the water. As they said, they were putting on their clothes. This is the Japanese took, and they began to spear the women and children that were there. The Philippine people that were washing their clothes and doing their things by the water. And he said he began to just cry even more. And he said, we picked up our guns and we shot them and we killed them. And she said he laid there and he just cried. And I never forgot her telling that story about Kathy's grandpa. You see, many men came home from the war, but when he came home, he suffered greatly. And it wasn't until that he was dying that he gave his heart to the Lord. And I know that he's in heaven today. Can you say amen? But I want to take just a moment of silence. I just want us to take a few moments, and I just want us to stand here for like 5-10 seconds. I'll tell you. And I don't want anybody to move, but I want us to remember all those that have died for our country. Can we do that? Amen. I want us to do this morning. Let's say the Pledge of Allegiance. Would you put your hand over your heart? I pledge allegiance to the flag and to the United States of America and to the republic. Help me again. I'm so overly emotional. Let's start this over. You got to help me, Kathy.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I didn't mean to get tongue-tied. Brother Leon, this morning, would you pray over the service, and would you ask God to touch all the families who have lost somebody on this Memorial Day. Would you do that?
Oh Lord, thank you for another opportunity in your help. Big pastor prayer support every praying to us. Do it over the years, over the heart short. Thank you for the guys.
Yes, Jesus.
Amen.
Amen. How many of you are so thankful for our country today? Say amen. How many are thankful for the Lord this morning? Say amen. You know what I'm going to ask everybody to do? I know it's Memorial Day. This is our 5th Sunday, and today it's Mission Sunday. Matthew and his wife, the Kings, are here today. We're so grateful for them. They're over there. They've got 2 babies, and you know what? They got 2 twins over there. They are missionaries to France, Europe. They're going to be going Paris. I should say Paris, France. They're going to be going soon, but you know what? They're here today to do a 10 to 15 minute window. But introduce yourselves to them. Go around and shake hands with people. Drew's getting ready to open up praise and worship. Hey, God bless you today. Have a wonderful day today.